Hello and welcome to the analysis of the Hindu newspaper dated December 12th, 2022. In this video, we are going to talk about two important newspaper articles. Now, these articles are important, significant for the civil services examination, but this doesn't discard the fact that other articles which are present in the Hindu newspaper weren't important. So, we have presented the list of all the important newspaper articles which are important from the Hindu newspaper. You can go through them, but these articles do not require that kind of understanding, and that is why we are going to just stick to two important newspaper articles. If this is very clear to you, let's move ahead to the first important newspaper article for the day. But before that, do consider subscribing to this channel to never miss an update from the bureaucratic way, and join us on Telegram to get all the important PDFs important for the civil services examination. So with this, let's now head to the first important newspaper article. Now, this particular newspaper article talks about the Cooperative Societies Act and how it is going to be amended. So, this particular amendment is going to be named as what? Multi-State Cooperatives Societies Amendment Bill 2022, because it has not become an act, and that is why it is called a bill. Now, this bill was tabled on December 7th in the Lok Sabha, but it attracted some kind of criticism from the opposition. Now the opposition has pointed towards some of the shortcomings of this particular bill, and they ask this particular bill to be referred to a standing committee. So let's understand what is this particular bill, and then we are going to understand the criticism of this particular bill as well. But before that, let's understand what are these multi-state cooperative societies. Now, according to the International Cooperative Alliance, basically cooperatives are people-centered enterprises jointly owned and democratically controlled by and for their members to realize common economic, social and cultural needs and aspirations. When you do not have a lot of money, what do? You pool the resources of the society in order to get the best out of it, right? And that is how the cooperative function, because people, the various kind of entities, do combine their resources and they form cooperatives so as to have better say in the governance of the state as well, and regarding their policies, right? Because they will have more say regarding these things. And that is why how the cooperatives function. They are people centered enterprises, and they are jointly owned and democratically controlled by and for their members to realize common economic, social and cultural needs and aspirations. And when these cooperatives function on different states, if these cooperatives function in more than one state, then they are known as multi-state cooperatives. For example, a farmer producers organization which procures grains from farmers from multiple states is going to be known as multi-state cooperative. Now, these multi-state cooperatives have the board of directors, and they are from all states. These collective which operate in and control all the finances and administration, and there are close to 1500 MSCs which are registered in this particular act, which is known as MSC Act 2002, and they are registered in India. 1500 MSCs are registered in India. MSCs are registered in India, and most of them, and the highest number is from the state of Maharashtra, right? So we have understood what are the cooperative societies. Let's now understand the issues with the cooperative sector, because in order to understand the features of this bill, first we need to understand what are the issues with the cooperative sector, right? So the first thing is that the independent and the autonomous character of the cooperative societies was to be crucial in their functioning, but this is not happening because the inclusion of the cooperatives in the planning process as development instruments made the sector an avenue for dispensing patronage to the supporters of ruling political parties. If a cooperative has to get their work done, what they will do? They will patronage a particular political party, and if this particular political party wins, the favors are given to these cooperative societies. So they have become an instruments in the hands of the political parties. And apart from it, the state governments also do interfere in the functioning of the cooperative sector, because the policy of the state governments to contribute to the share of the capital of the cooperatives enabled governments in the name of public interest is to directly intervene in the working of the cooperatives which are legally autonomous. Now, the cooperative societies are legally autonomous, but if the states provide some kind of incentives to it, or it provides some of the things in the name of public interest, then they are going to have more control over the cooperatives, right? And this is what happens. This is the second issue regarding it. And the third issue is that the MSCs were formed to ease the operation of the collectives throughout the country, but this is not happening, because on the contrary, MSCs are facing issues regarding trust, which is very basis of the cooperation. If the trust is not happening between the society in the cooperation, then what is going to happen? The cooperatives are going to collapse. There is going to be less trust between the cooperatives members, right? And apart from it, monitoring is one of the most important instrumental function in the collective organization. But if it is monitored by the center, if the top down approach is followed instead of the grassroots one, then what is going to happen? The function of the cooperatives becomes more or less what? More or less not there at all, right? So these are some of the issues with the cooperative sectors. Now let's understand the features of this particular bill and how this particular bill is going to change all of these issues or address this particular issues. And now we also have suggestions by various committees as well. For example, the Brahma Prakash Committee of the Planning Commission made far-reaching recommendations to reorganize multi-state cooperatives, but the researchers point out that the act has not been modified as per the report. All right. So now that we have understood the cooperative societies, we have understood the issues of the cooperation of the cooperative sector. With the cooperative sector, let's now understand what are the features of this particular bill. Now this particular bill envisages to make some of the changes. So the first change is regarding the election of the board members. So earlier what used to happen under the act is that, or what happens at this particular point of time is that, elections to the board of multi-cooperative societies are conducted by its existing board. But according to this particular bill, there is going to be some of the changes, because now there is going to be a cooperative election authority which is going to conduct such elections, which is going to supervise, direct and control the preparation of the electoral rolls. And now and it is also going to perform other prescribed functions. But this particular committee, or this particular authority, that is cooperative election authority, is going to be established by the central government. So there is more control by the central government, and this particular authority will consist of a chairperson, then we will have the vice chairperson, and up to 3 members associated by the central government on the recommendations of a selection committee, right? And this particular selection committee is going to be governed by what? Or it is going to be made by the central government in all, right? So the feature of this particular bill is that the redressal of the committee complaints. Now this particular, as per the bill, the central government will appoint one or more cooperative ombudsmen with territorial jurisdiction. Now this cooperative ombudsman will listen to all of the complaints, but this cooperative ombudsman is again going to be appointed by the central government. And apart from it, we also have the fund for the sick cooperative societies, because there are going to be some healthy cooperative societies, but at the same time there are going to be some cooperative societies which are going to be unhealthy, which are going to be sick. So for that particular purpose, the bill establishes the Cooperative Rehabilitation, Reconstruction and Development Fund for revival of sick multi-state cooperative societies, and the fund shall be financed by the multi-state cooperative societies that are in profit for preceding 3 financial years. So even if you have a sick cooperative, you are not functioning properly, you are not managing it properly, then you need not to worry about that, because all of the healthy cooperative societies are going to take care of you. And if a multi-cooperative society makes profits for preceding 3 financial years, then it is going to donate some of the money. Now how much this particular money is going to be? They will deposit either 1 crore rupees or 1% of the net profit into the fund, whichever is less. So you can either deposit 1 crore rupees or 1% of the net profit, and whichever is less is going to be going towards the revival of the sick multi state cooperative societies. Now this is the particular function. Now there are many criticisms regarding this particular bill as well, but we are going to first understand what is the features of the bill. So the third or the fourth feature, right? So now the fourth feature of this particular bill is the composition of the board of the directors. Now under the act, the board of multi-state cooperative societies will have a maximum of 21 directors. This is happening right now, right? Under this particular act, or according to the act of 2002, it is happening, right? And the board may co-opt two additional directors as well. But now something is going to change. What is going to change? The bill amends the composition of the board of directors to mandate the inclusion of one scheduled caste and its scheduled tribe members and two women members. Now the inclusion of all these into these particular societies, inclusion of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, inclusion of the women members, is going to provide a big positive boost, right? Now this particular move is very good. Now the criticism of this particular bill, because the opposition has asked it to refer to the standing committee, so we need to understand the criticism of this particular bill as well, right? So bill may lead to the concentration of power of the center, which could impact the autonomy of the MSCs and create potential for misuse. And notably, the constitutional domain of the state in regulating cooperative societies was upheld by the Supreme Court last year when it struck down a part of the 97th constitutional amendment. And that is why the cooperative societies should remain under the state governments. This is what is the first criticism. And the second criticism is that the creation of cooperative rehabilitation, reconstruction and development fund would put an additional burden on the MSCs, because even if the other cooperative societies or all the other multi-state cooperative societies are not functioning well because of their management or whatever other reasons, then the healthy MSCs are going to give them money, right? And this is what is the main second criticism of this particular bill. So these are the main criticism of this bill. We have understood the features of this particular bill. We have also understood what is this bill regarding in detail. So this is it regarding this particular article. And if you are more interested in this particular bill, then I'm going to provide the PDF in the description, right? You can read all the details of this particular bill from there. So now let's move on to the next important newspaper article. Now this particular newspaper article talks about a mission which is known as Clean Ganga. It talks about Earth Ganga, which is an initiative under the Clean Ganga initiative, right? So Clean Ganga changes course to conservation, tourism and livelihood. How Clean Ganga initiative is now going to be transformed into the Earth Ganga is what is written in this particular newspaper article. So this article says that marking a shift in emphasis, the Union government's flagship Namami Gange program, conceived to improve the sanitation levels in the Ganga, is now geared towards conservation, tourism and providing livelihoods. From Namami Gange, we are shifting towards the Earth Ganga, right? So what is this Earth Ganga? So Earth Ganga is basically a sustainable development model with focus on economic activities related to the Ganga, right? As the name suggests, right? Now the Ganga, river Ganga, what is earth economics? So how can we profit from the sustainable development of the Ganga river is what is Earth Ganga, right? So as part of this particular process, farmers will be encouraged to engage in sustainable agricultural practices, including zero budget farming, planting of fruit trees and building plant nurseries on the banks of the Ganga. And apart from it, above practices along with the creation of the infrastructure for water sports and development of the campsites, cycling and walking tracks, etc. would help you to tap the hybrid tourism potential of the river basin area for purposes of religion as well as the adventure tourism. What is this hybrid model? Hybrid tourism potential is what gives the potential for the purpose of the religious of the use for the use of Ganga for the religious purposes as well as the adventure tourism. So this is what this particular hybrid tourism model is regarding, right? So now What is the importance of Earth Ganga? So almost half of the Indian population lives around the Ganges river belt, and moreover, of India's in total fleet, about one-fifth originates and one-third terminates in the state around Ganges belt, and thus inland waterway is one of the most important pillars of the Earth Ganga project. And when we talk about the inland waterway in Ganga, then we have the National Waterway 1, which is basically an inland water transport route between Haldia in West Bengal and Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh. And if you see the map, it is here, right? Allahabad, now it is known as Prayagraj. It is basically an old map. So it's Prayagraj. So from Prayagraj to basically Haldia, which opens up in the Bay of Bengal, right? So this particular course of river is known as National Waterway 1. It is developed, it has been developed, and it is being developed in order to get the best out of the river Ganga, in order to improve the transportation in this particular area in the form of waterways, right? This is what is National Waterway 1. And apart from it, the Earth Ganga is important because the Ministry of Shipping is also developing Varanasi, Freight Village and Sahibganj industrial cluster come logistics parks with an objective of creating synergy with the inland waterways. And apart from it, the income generated from the encouraging ecotourism and Ganga wildlife conservation and cruise tourism would help to generate sustainable income streams for cleaning of Ganga river. So all in all, it is going to create a virtuous cycle. The all of the money which is coming from all of the adventure tourism, all of the sustainable farming, it is going towards the go towards the cleaning of the Ganga. So this virtuous cycle, we hope that this goes on and Ganga remains clean, and we are going to get manifold benefits out of this. So this is it regarding this particular newspaper article, and this is it for the day. Thank you from my side. Do like and share the video and subscribe to this channel. Have a good day. Bye.